In this video, we're going to be talking about the implementation section of the program that we created. So we've done a lot of videos about the interface section, so it's not time to talk about the instance variables that we declared in the implementation section. You have to pardon me if you think that I repeat myself a lot, and the reason why that is because these videos I actually write these things out not on the same day, so sometimes it could be 3 days apart before I do these videos, so I actually cannot keep track of what I've actually explained to you earlier on. And also because I think one of the best way to explain things is to actually repeat it a few times so that it can stick in your brain, and every time I write it or I write it in a different way, so it might make sense to you. So I apologize if you think I repeat myself too much, because sometimes I'm not sure which one I've spoken about, and I like to go into details, so that I like to make things very clear. And also at this time that I'm recording is actually 4:30 a.m. Actually it's 4:34 on my computer, so if my voice is kind of cracked, so I apologize as well. I don't know why I'm hot, but I just feel bored, so I thought let me do some more videos. So anyway, let's go on and talk about the instant variables that we declare in the implementation section. So let's go to the program and I'll show you. So we've broken this down in all the videos previously, so now let's talk about the implementation section. And the first thing you notice that inside the implementation section we actually create a curly bracket, and we declared all the instant variables that we need inside of it. So the implementation section of the program we wrote contains the actual code for all the instance methods that we wrote. I explained that before. Methods are declared in the interface section and are defined in the implementation section. So make sure you know the difference between these two. We declare methods in the interface section, and we define them by actually giving them the real code in the implementation section. Also in the implementation section, we define all the instant variables that are needed. For example, we use the account number and the account balance variables. This will be declared in this section. The format for the implementation section is this. So this is how you declare. This is the format for the implementation section. You write at implementation, then you write in the class name. You don't have to do the colon and the NS object. Remember the NS object or the parent class. Even if you do it, it's still okay, but it's not actually necessary. Then you have these two curly brackets. Then inside these two curly brackets, you declare all your instant variables. Also call member declaration. Specify type and name of the variable. So you have to specify the type and the name of the variable. So you have to say like int and the car color, or int the registration number, or int, stuff like that. You have to state the type and the name of the variable. Then this is where you define, after the curly bracket, then you define all your methods, which is gonna talk about later. So let's talk about instant variables. Each time you create a new object from a class, a new set of instance variables that you have declared here are also created with it. A variable is called a variable because its value can vary. If we produce 20 cars from the car class, each of these cars can call each of these cars. Remember, if you create 20 car objects from a car class, each of these cars can use the set color method to set the color of the to the given value. So if you call the set color, if you say Mercedes set color to blue, so that means we can change the state of that object, just like I explained before. So the value of the color of the car can change. Each time you create a new object using the alloc and the init methods, a new set of instance variables are also created with the object, and this is a very important concept to know. Anytime you create a new object, a new set of instance variables are also created with it. And these instant variables, they are unique to this object only. So only this object we have these instance variables, and you can modify the properties of that object as you like. Think of it like when a person is born, they have new set of eyes, new set of hairs, new set of nose, etc., and they are somewhat unique to that person. Maybe not totally unique, but at least they are somewhat unique to that person. So that's the same thing. Every time you create a new object of a class, a new set of instant variables are also created, and all the instance variables that are created, they actually initialized to 0 until you set the value for them. When you modify the instance variable on one object, it doesn't change the instance variables of other objects that belongs to the same class. And that's exactly, I'm sure we've actually seen the example of that one as well. So if we have an instance variable, say for example car color, and we change the value of that instance variable, for example we change the color of the car to blue, it doesn't, if we call that method on Mercedes, it doesn't change the color on the Toyota, because we are only modifying the instance variable on one object, which doesn't change the instance variables of other objects that belong to the same class. Objective-C keeps track of all the instance variables and their property for each of the object. It keeps track of it for you, so you don't have to worry about it. If you want to get a value for any of the objects instance variable, all you have to do is just use the setter or the getter to obtain the value for them. If you want to change, use the setter. If you want to get the value, you use the getter. So as we've spoken about this before, so I hope that one makes things clearer. So anytime you want to create a program, you think about all the instance variable that you might need and you put them in this implementation section here. So let me actually see what I did. I think, hold on a second, let me see if I actually write. I think I opened recent. I wrote a car class. I want to show you an important concept, and I wrote a car class, and I want to show you an important concept. So if I run this program, that I wrote, I want to show you that one of the value of the car, I'm not sure if this is this one. Let's do, bear with me, I'm looking. Okay, the concept I want to show you is this. When I wrote this car method and I declare, as you can see inside the implementation section, I have declared 4 variables here: the car year, the 4 instance variables, the car engine number, the current value of the car, and the car price when it was brand new. So what I did here is I created 3 objects: Mercedes, Honda, and Toyota. I initiated them, and I used one of the methods, which I'm going to show you this full program later on, to set all the variables, all the instance variable of Mercedes. But I used a different method to set all the instance variables of Honda. But what I did here is, instead of setting all the 4 details, because here you can see that I set the 4 details for Mercedes, all the 4 instance variables, I set them to a specific value. I did the same thing for Honda. I set all the 4 instance variables but for Toyota, I only set 3 rather than 4. And the reason was because I wanted to show you something. And when I run that program, you can see here that if you look at the which car is this one? The Toyota, you can see that the engine number is 0. What I want to show you, the reason why that is because when you create a new object, all the instance variable, they are automatically zeroed out, so they become 0. So that is why, for example, if I didn't declare it and I print the details, if I call the method to print the car details and I didn't set any of the variable, all of this would be 0. So this is why I want to show you, and I'm still going to show you other things that are very specific to this program later on. So I hope you understand instance variable now and how they work.